Ladies, this one's for you. Men are really not that picky when it comes to sex, the way that we are. We're very picky, right? There are only certain guys that we would want to have sex with. No matter how horny we get, we're not just going to go out and pick some random guy, right? But men will. They are built differently from us, okay? And they are not that selective. They will stick their dick in just about anything. In fact, one of my favorite stories is that Senator Craig years ago, who got caught, one of those evangelical senators, got caught sticking his dick through a bathroom stall hole to have another guy suck him off or something like that. So that's what they'll do, and you can just see gay men. But if you go up to, any woman can go up to a man and be like, hey, you want to come home with me and fuck me? And the chances are a lot of them are going to say yes. That doesn't mean they like you. That doesn't mean they want to date you. When it comes to men's desire for sex, and they're not that picky, they kind of see us as objects, as semen receptacles, to put it so bluntly. Not unless the guy has actually proven that he cares about you. You don't know. We're just vagina receptacles. We're just objects to people. And I think people do treat each other as objects a lot anyway. Like, you know, people can be really rude to the waitress or rude to the cashier in the grocery store or to other people when they're waiting in line, find people annoying. That's how men see women too. Just convenient receptacles, these beautiful things, and they're just drawn to us. Therefore, it is up to us as women to understand the difference and to realize that just because we pick the guy because we like him, he doesn't pick us on that same basis, okay? He just wants to. Men are built to have this strong desire for women. That's a good thing, because if men were as sexually selective as we were, the human race would have died out. We need one sex, which is the male, to kind of push for sex. And we need the women to be selective, because we're going to be the ones who get pregnant. And even nowadays, in most couples, even the ones that are like equal, it still falls onto the woman to do most of the caretaking, especially in the early years of pregnancy, nursing, the first few years especially. And even later, much of it falls on the woman. And, you know, we have to pick men who are going to be there to help us and who are going to be good fathers. So we have to be selective. And I think that birth control has taken that equation out for women, which is really unfortunate, because women that just go around having sex like men, they're not happy with that. You know, they don't feel good about that. It's not fun. It's not empowering. That's what they'll, you know, if they're honest, they'll tell you that. So I think a good criteria before having sex with a guy is to be like, this is always my criteria, is, would this man be a good father to my children? Will this man be a good father to my children? Will he support me? Will he be there for me when I'm helpless and pregnant or nursing? And will he be a good father? That's a criterion. Unfortunately, a lot of people these days don't want to have kids anymore, but that's a different topic. But for me, that's a big question. And all this birth control has taken away some of the natural rhythm of how we mate. But I think that's a good question that women should ask themselves as kind of a selection factor. Or you might say, would my dad like him? Would my brother like him? Would my mom approve of him? There has to be some kind of criteria other than he's hot. But women are more selective, but men are not. So a guy will easily have sex with a woman that he would never in a million years date. So ladies, what you have to know is, just because he wants to get with you does not mean he likes you at all. He might like you, or you could just be a convenient, I hate to be so crude, hole for him. Now, why are men this way? I'll tell you. They are designed with external genitalia that just need a couple strokes to have some release. They're very simple creatures when it comes to sex. Just a few strokes, a few pumps. You know, most men can orgasm if they want to within a couple minutes of just stroking or less. 1 or 2 minutes of stroking and they're done. For women, it's a lot more complicated. We are not going to have an orgasm in 2 minutes of stroking. We need a lot more. And in fact, the female orgasm is a late adaptation to our species. Early females didn't even have orgasms. We were more like the animals where, you know, it was just a quick hump and then it was done. So I think that is also a good weeding out factor. Does this man care about my sexual pleasure? Is it all about him? Because a lot of guys are just very selfish in bed, just want to make it all about them, and that's why they get a lot more out of it. We are just designed very differently. I wish that I would have known this when I was younger. I wish I would have known this when I was younger because no one ever talks about this. I'm the only one really talking about this that I know. Because I would have sex with men that I liked enough to have sex with them, you know, didn't necessarily want to date them, but I respected them and I thought that they were, you know, a good kind of man that met my criteria for someone I would date. And I didn't realize that men could be like, well, she's convenient, she's hot, that's good enough for me. I've even had a guy tell me that they will lower their standards. Like, they might want to have sex with that girl because she's really beautiful, but they'll have sex with that girl because she's available right then. So you have to know that even when they're just doing that, they're not mean, they're nice to you. They're nice to you when they're trying to get with you because they're not mean. They're not doing it to hurt you. That's just how they're wired. You know, they want to be affectionate with you in bed. They're going to be passionate. A lot of them will care about your pleasure. They'll want you to enjoy yourself. They'll be very affectionate with you. You know, they might even bring a bottle of wine or take you to dinner. I mean, some of them enjoy kind of like the courtship part and the romantic part of it. But after they release, they have what's called Postnut Clarity, which means that they've come to, like when they're horny, they go into a zone, like what do I call it? Like some kind of a hunter zone, like a zone where they're just really focused on what they have to get. It's kind of like you're shopping for shoes and you need this, you're just going to the store looking for this particular thing. I don't know if that's a good example, but then after they release, they come to and they're fully conscious again, and then they're like, oh shit, how did I end up with this girl? How am I going to get her out of my house? How am I going to get out of here now? I can't believe I'm laying next to this. And then that's it. They're done with you, you know? And they might be polite. They might not say, hey, bitch, get the hell out of here. But they might be like, oh, God, I got to get rid of her. I wish she wasn't here. They'll be nice. But they really just want you to leave, or they just really want to leave. So that's it. That's why women who figured this out, they vet the men a little bit. They're not just so quick to jump into bed. I think we have to vet them. And we have to vet them and get back to men having to court us and earn the right to be sexual with us. And the thing is that since so many women are so easy, it's kind of become a race to the bottom. You know? Like, everyone else is so easy, I better be easy too. No. I think that we have to start turning the tide, because when everyone's become so easy, people don't even want relationships anymore. because the charm has gone out of it, the mystery and the enchantment has gone out of it. Whenever, their ass is everywhere on Instagram, it's like, it's not really that enchanting anymore. And to get to know someone, it's just such a beautiful day out. Yeah, I mean, and it sucks because, I do wish I had a good sexual partner, and I don't have one, and I won't hook up. It's very traumatizing. I'll tell you, just sharing from myself why I don't hook up, why I stopped doing it, because to me it's really traumatizing to have sex with a man and then he blows me off. That's traumatizing to my attachment system, and I think that's healthy. Hi, cutie. So, dog running around. I think that shows that's a sign of good health, that actually bothers me. The fact that it wouldn't bother someone seems odd to me, but a lot of men can do that. They're like, well, that was fun, and they go on about their business, because to them it was just like peeing in a toilet. But to me, it's like, oh, but he was so affectionate with me. And it's not bonding through orgasm. That's not it. I bond through even just the way that he's holding me or hugging me, or the way he's being so affectionate with me. I'm like, that was nice. Let's do that again. And they're like, well, I did that once, so I'm done. So I would say that is one of the biggest differences. And because of that, I think that we have to be like super selective, because we have to think about, is this going to be nurturing to me? Is this going to add to my life, or am I going to feel worse afterward? And I think we have to be careful with our attachment system, because that can really cause a lot of unnecessary pain to aggravate it in a way that isn't good. Yeah, so I just think that women have become way too easy. I don't think that they're vetting the men enough for, is this guy actually interested in me? And that's what we really need to do. Men are going to bond with women by doing things for them. That's what John Gray says. They bond by doing things for us, by getting to know us and doing things for us. And that's a much better foundation. Someone left a comment today like, why you keep talking about sex? Make some more cooking videos. And I'm like, this is a sex channel. Did you get lost on the internet? Have a good day, you guys. It goes without saying that men also have a responsibility, because they can get a woman pregnant and they can hurt her feelings if she gets attached because of the sex. So men also have a responsibility, because we're not wild animals living on the prairie anymore. We are in a society, and we have evolved to have empathy and to have consequences. And if a man makes a woman pregnant and there's a child, he's on the hook for child support for 18 years. So men have to really think about that. And if they abandon their children, they're just leaving a wake of destruction and pain. So that's why people have to be very, very intentional with their sexuality. But a lot of men just assume that the women are on birth control. And like I said, birth control is a good thing, but it has made people be less selective and less careful. And it has allowed a lot of casual sex that isn't really benefiting the women. And I don't think it benefits the men that much either. If a man's just going around having sex bareback with no condom, not caring if the woman gets pregnant, not caring if she's enjoying the sex, not having any regard about any children he might produce or hurting her feelings, he's basically just a predator and a lower evolved male. But usually when men, by the time men turn 30, they figured this all out and they're like, I don't want to just hook up with some woman and get her attached to me. And the ones that have their shit together, they will look for a relationship and get their sexual needs met that way. But that gets tricky too, because women lose their sex drive in relationships. When familiarity sets in, women lose their sex drive, and that's well documented, and women are like upset by this too. Like, how can I get my sex drive back? So, you know, we really thrive on novelty a lot when it comes to sex. It's a very complicated topic. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my video and have a great rest of your Friday.